welcome to Makeup Therapy Day 8. Today is bronze and I'm super tired, so I'm going to try to have energy. My tripod for my ring light came today and the ring light didn't come with it, but I wanted to set up the tripod to see how it worked with camera. And it's a little bit higher than I thought it was going to be, but I don't want to spend a lot of time adjusting it until I get the ring light. But I did spend time just like cleaning and organizing my desk area and my vanity and my makeup, and that was a rabbit hole that I should not have fallen into. So I am going to start out today. I've already done my base. I did the Too Faced Peach Perfect in Swan. I always want to say Snow, and I think Snow is the one that I wear in one of the other Too Faced foundations. So the Too Faced Peach Perfect in Swan, the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder. My eyebrows are the Benefit Gimme Brow in 4.5. And then I did put Shape Tape down today on my lids instead of Primer Potion. I'm trying to pan things, which if you don't know what that is, if you are new to makeup videos, I'm just trying to go through some of the things that I have before I go out and buy new stuff. And I know with all of the holiday releases coming up that it's going to be very tempting, so I have certain items, and I might make a separate video or get the items, like just a handful of items that I want to pan specifically, and tell you what they are tomorrow, because I haven't really taken the time to figure out what they're going to be. One of them is definitely the IT Cosmetics, the Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder, because I also have it in a loose powder, and I want to try the loose powder, so I need to get through the pressed powder first. So I did just get the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Instant and Long-Term Lip Plumper. So this was one of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and it's pretty. It's like iridescent, which I'm sure you can't see on camera, but I always put lip balm on while I'm doing the rest of my makeup, and I waited so that I could put this on, and I'll leave this on while I'm doing the rest. We'll see what it does. It has a lot of claims. 93% said lips look fuller and more plump. 97% said delivers instant results. 97% said lips feel moisturized. So we'll see. It has some good ingredients in it. Says I may experience a slightly intense tingle. Slightly intense. Is it intense or not intense? Is there slightly intense tingle that can last up to 5 to 10 minutes. Apply only within perimeter of lips. And then it has all of the warnings about what happens. So here's the issue with where the camera currently is on on the tripod. Words. I can make words. Is that I can't do much of anything by being in my mirror. So I'm going to try and just hold a little hand mirror and see how this goes. It smells really good. And then it just looks like lip gloss. Okay, so we'll see. So far, no slightly intense anything happening. So it's not pepperminty, which is interesting because usually any sort of plumping, anything that I've used has been really minty, and it's the menthol that is generally doing all of the plumping. So I think I'm going to try to do a halo eye today, perhaps. I'm going to be really trying to just stick to these two palettes. So the Urban Decay and Kristen Leanne. This one is, let's see if I can do this without dropping the brush. This one is just a really good base palette. And then the other one that I'm going to use is the ABH Prism palette. This was the holiday palette last year, but it has some really good shades in here for the bronzes. So I'm going to use some of these brighter shades. We'll see how that goes. The one issue that I do foresee possibly coming up is that the shimmer shadows in the ABH palettes have a tendency to seal over, and I've actually had that problem with every ABH palette I've ever had with shimmer shadows. So I'm just gonna hope that that isn't the case, because if it is, we might have to go back to the drawing board. I will say that Urban Decay does a much better job with brushes than any other palettes that I've tried. I actually use the brushes that come in their palettes. So I'm going to start out, I used Lucy already, which is the lightest color in here, just to set down the, it just started to tingle, but just to set down the concealer that I put in my eyes. And while I am working on my makeup today, I'm going to talk a little bit about my weight and body positivity and how I feel about some of the movements with body positivity, because I think that as an overweight person, I might have some different views than a lot of other people who are overweight. I'm going to go into a deeper brown shade and just put it in the outer V. So I am all about being healthy, and certainly I think that there is a point of being overweight where you can be overweight and still be healthy. I do think that, at least in North American culture, there is an extensive amount of obesity, and I definitely was not taught or given the importance of eating well when I was growing up. And in a lot of ways, what my mom did was really good, because I'm not a picky eater. So the rule was that I had to try whatever was on the plate, but if I didn't like it, I didn't have to eat it. So I'm actually going to go into the ABH palette, and I'm going to use Parallel, and I'm going to start from the inside a little bit to get more of that halo effect, but this is just a little bit lighter than the other brown, because I don't want to put something that's too dark right in the inner corner. So I think that it's important for people to have a positive body image, and I really like that movement is something that has been happening. It's nice to see that somebody who is not of what is necessarily a typical model body type is now able to model. I think that it shows that it's still not just generally accepted in society when there is somebody who is large on the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine, and it's a huge news article and a really big deal that she's there. When it's not a big deal, and when it's just a situation where she is just simply somebody else who is on the cover of the magazine, that's when we'll know that actual strides and changes have taken place. So I'm going to use, going back to the Kristen Leanne palette. So I'm going to go in with Daydream and try and soften this out up at the top. I swear there's going to be bronzes that are going to come into this. Also, I have to remember not to lean forward to look in that mirror, which is going to take some getting used to. So honestly, I'm glad with the way that the world is in general, that I don't have children, because I think that it would be very difficult to raise. I think it's always difficult to raise children, but I also think that as things are more out there with social media and out in the open, and there's more ways for people to not only be educated, but more ways for people to be bullied and to be treated poorly, that it just is a really difficult world. And I definitely think that anything that we can do to help bring some positivity to the world is a good thing. However, I do think that the body positivity movement has gone further into the direction of people just deciding that it is okay to... People have decided that because they need people to know that it's okay for them to be overweight, that is what the primary message is, as opposed to the primary message being to be healthy and to first take care of yourself. And that's the part that bothers me. And it's the part that is difficult for me, because I have friends who are overweight who very much are on the everybody should just be happy with their body the way it is. Yes, you should be happy with your body, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't consider that your body may be telling you that you have health issues. And I realize this is a really controversial topic. I don't even know why I decided to bring it up today. I think because I weighed myself today, and I started thinking about weight because of that. This is the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. And when I put it down in the middle and then open my eye, it does transfer up to the top, but that's okay because I'm going to be taking the next color all the way up. So I'm just putting this where I want my bronze shimmer shadow to go. And this is going to be a really layered eye, I think. Assuming that these shadows perform the way that I'm hoping for them to perform. So I'm going to go in with Sphinx, which is the middle shade here. And just put that on the outsides. So, in weighing myself today, I have lost 16 pounds, and some of that weight loss, I will absolutely say, has not been done in a healthy manner, because I generally, when I get really depressed and I'm having anxiety, I just want to eat everything that I come in contact with. If there's food, I want it in my belly. This time I have actually lost my appetite, so I've been eating like once a day, and so that's got a lot to do. That's probably the primary factor. I have also been using my elliptical when I'm watching YouTube videos, and that helps, but that alone is definitely not what has been at the forefront of me losing this weight. And I think that's what made me start thinking about both the shape of my body and being not only comfortable with my body, but also being healthy. So I am actually going to go in with Pyramid. It's more of a gold color than a bronze color, but I just want the middle of this to be really bright. And I was going to use Eternal, I just don't think that it's going to show up as well. So it's just, weight is what has just been on my mind for most of today. And I don't see people who are overweight and think, oh my god, that person is not taking care of themselves. So that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that I think that the body positivity movement is something that is not taking into consideration to the same extent whether or not people are healthy. And that is really unfortunate, because it is possible for people to both be happy with their bodies and to be overweight. I'm going to go back in with Parallel, which is the brown shade, and smoke out underneath my eye. So I don't know, I want to see an actual nutritionist to help me with my weight, and I just, at this point, I'm really just waiting until I can get in to see my GP and have her refer me to somebody, because food is my biggest issue, and I can make myself exercise, but I either eat too much of the wrong stuff or I am not eating anything at all, and I need to find a happy medium. I'm going to go back in with my blending brush, and I'm just going to sort of blend these colors into each other. So, and smoke it out at the top even more down here. And I worried a little bit that bringing up something like this is going to offend people, or that there's going to be a specific group of people that are going to be offended. And really what I've decided is that if you're offended by my opinion, it's my opinion. It's not something that is intended to offend. It's just me saying how I feel about things. And I certainly am sorry if I offend anybody. That's not ever my intent. But I am aware that it can happen. So I'm going to use an Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner. Just a pencil liner. This is Perversion. This is just their black pencil. And I said before in a different video that I don't have any brown pencils, which would have been preferable. I don't have any brown eyeliners at all, except for the one that doesn't work as an eyeliner and I use for my eyebrows. So, with that being the case, decided we would just go in with black. Alright. I dropped the lid. I'll get it in a minute. So, fairly fast eye look. And then I'm going to use the Benefit Roller Lash, because of course I am, but I'm actually using it in brown. So, switching it up a little bit, at least it's a different color. Which might be, it might not work out well with the brown, just because I used the black liner in my waterline, but I'm gonna hope that this is gonna work out. And actually, as much as I use this, you would think that Roller Lash was my all-time favorite mascara, and it's not. I haven't found one that I would say is like the mascara that everybody needs to own yet. But I do like it a lot. It does definitely help with the curl of my lashes, and it stays well. Probably the one complaint that I have about it is the same complaint that I'm going to have about almost any waterproof mascaras, which is that it's just difficult to get it off. To get off my eye makeup, I use the Bioderma, it's the sensitive skin. It's called Sensio, I think. It's the one that's that's supposed to be hydrating. So I was ordering stuff from Beautylish on The Ordinary, and I got a free sample of like 3 different types of the micellar water from Bioderma, and I was amazed, because I liked micellar water before that, but I didn't entirely understand the hype around it. The way that Bioderma works made me understand the hype. So it's incredible and amazing. I am going to do something with this look that I really never do. I am going to use bronzer. This is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess. And it's one that I got in a subscription box. And it is just Park Avenue Princess, I guess, is actually the color. I thought that was the name of the palette that this comes in. But it seems that that is the color. So I'm going to use the Japanesque bronzer brush. I've actually never used this brush for bronzer because I don't generally wear bronzer. But I felt like if we were doing a bronze look, bronzer was something that should probably happen. And it'll be interesting to see the kind of color that can show up in my face. I just have to do a really, really light hand because even though this is a relatively light bronzer, or looks like a relatively light bronzer in the pan, I'm super pale. So, which is part of the reason I've tried to use bronzers before. Generally, I like having pale skin anyway, and usually when I try to wear bronzers, I feel like I just end up looking dirty. I have a really tiny forehead. It looks much larger on camera than it does in person because I have a bunch of little blonde hairs down here that don't really show up. But I have a small forehead, so I'm not going to try to make my forehead look smaller, which is what people seem to be doing with bronzer much of the time. I'm just going to try to bring a little bit of warmth. Also fix my nose ring. Bring a little bit of warmth into my face. Bring it up just a little bit higher. Maybe bring it down the nose a little bit on the chin. Just the spots that if I ever went out into the sun would actually see sunlight. And then for highlight, probably not a shock since I'm sure I've held it up in front of my face while I'm trying to use the mirror out of it. But I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Amrezy highlighter. And it's a pretty champagne-y gold color. It's a good color to go with this look, I think. So, yeah, I had said also in the first video that doing these videos is also sort of my weight loss journey. I do want to get healthier and I want to lose weight. And so I think being able to see that on video as I lose weight will be really helpful. And I obviously haven't lost 16 pounds since I started doing videos, since I just started doing videos a week ago. I've lost 16 pounds in about 3.5 weeks. So since the last time I went to my doctor, so it was 3 weeks on Friday. Today is Monday, so about 3.5 weeks. And it's, again, not necessarily the way that I wanted to lose it. Some of it was done the right way because some of it is from being out working in the yard. And actually, I'm going to put some of that on my Cupid's bow. And from being on the elliptical. And those things certainly help. But I am well aware that the majority of the weight that I've lost has just been from the stress and anxiety. So that is what it is. I'm just going to use a makeup wipe. I haven't really noticed much of anything with this lip plumper. Like, I can feel it a little bit. I don't know. Do my lips look more plump? Just stick them out. Then they will. Yeah, maybe. It definitely doesn't have the burning sensation that some other lip plumpers do. And the thing that I like about it is that it was supposed to be hydrating as well. So the hydration is what's supposed to give you the long-term plumping effects. So speaking of panning things, this is we're going to see, because the lipstick I have today definitely do not have a lip liner. When you see it, you'll understand why. I'm probably never going to have a lip liner that matches it. So this is the e.l.f. and it's just like a clear lip pencil. It's called a lip primer, but it's supposed to help keep your lipstick in place. And it came free with an order that I did when I bought some stuff for my boyfriend's mom, and I have not really used it. So, gonna put it on, see if it helps hold my lipstick in place. Don't really know how I'm supposed to use it. So, we're just gonna use it kind of like a liner and see how that goes. So here is the lipstick. This is a Pretty Vulgar lipstick that I have not had many opportunities to wear because it is quite a statement lipstick. This is in My Lips Are Sealed 105 Weeping. I think Weeping Willow is actually the color. And My Lips Are Sealed is, I'm not, the way the sticker is on there, I don't know if My Lips Are Sealed is the line of liquid lipsticks or if that's part of the name. Not really sure. But I've said this before, I think, but Pretty Vulgar has the best packaging. Their packaging definitely sucks me in. So I am going to go ahead and put this on and see how that goes for the bronze look. Alright, so I actually liked this a lot more than I remembered liking it. I may actually wear this in real life again, and not just in a video and for pictures when I am getting ready to go to bed. It feels so nice. I don't know that it's going to dry all the way down. It might just be one that like, I don't know that it's going to be transfer proof, but it's so pretty. And it definitely, it doesn't overpower the look the way that I thought it was going to. It's a nice bronze liquid lipstick, which who knew that I needed a bronze liquid lipstick? Apparently BoxyCharm knew, because that's where I got it. But I'm pretty pleased with how this look turned out. Probably could use a little more highlighter, because I can always use more highlighter. I'm going to put a little more of that on. So yeah, if I offended anybody by bringing up the body positivity thing, I certainly apologize. I just was, I don't know, it bothers me both that we are in a society where weight is such a stigmatized thing, and it also bothers me that people spend so much time focusing on weight rather than overall health. I didn't put on any blush. How did I was gonna not put on blush. That's ridiculous. I had it ready. So this is the Laura Geller, again, the Baked Blush and Brighten in Tropic Hues, which has kind of a bronzy sheen to it, so I think it'll go well with the look. Can't believe that you're gonna let me just leave the video with no blush, looking like a ghost. I think that because I put the bronzer on, and that's the step that I don't usually do, it just threw off my whole routine. So all right. So this is the final look. And yeah, today was just sort of a rant kind of day, probably because I was so tired. Also, I have a feeling that some of this, if not all of this, has been a little bit out of focus. The new lens should be here tomorrow, so that will help with that situation so that I don't have to have the awful noise if I'm letting it autofocus while I'm using it. So right now, that's why I'll be able to not hold everything up to my face to try to focus it, because it will be able to focus without making awful clicking sounds. Also, I think that one of the things that I'm going to try to use in my project pan is going to be a setting spray. But for the days like this, when I'm not going anywhere and I don't necessarily want my makeup to fully set down, I want to use what's left in this, and then I'm actually going to get another one because I love this. This is the Pixie by Petra, and this is the Hydrating Milky Mist with Words are a problem today. Hyaluronic acid and black oat. Youth preserving mist. I don't know how much it preserves my youth, but it does definitely any kind of like dry powderiness that I might have when I'm done with my makeup. It just sort of makes that melt down into the skin the same way that Fix Plus would, except without actually setting my makeup. And I use it a lot. I mean, I just use it a lot in general, which is why it's almost gone. I don't know if you can. So it's like here. And I have actually, Target is the only place that I know of that you can buy it without ordering it online. And the last few times I've been in there, they haven't had it. And so I was really concerned that it was being discontinued. But it's online, it says that they have it at one of the Targets that's near me. So I think that my Target probably just ran out and hasn't restocked. So but if you're somebody who is not great about putting on moisturizer, that was what made me start using it initially, because on days that I'm not wearing any makeup, especially, or in the winter I just have the worst dry skin issues, and so I just make sure that I have that all the time, and I'm just constantly spraying my face with it, and it definitely helps to hydrate the skin. So anyway, thank you for hanging out. Again, I hope that I haven't offended anybody. I'm interested in knowing what other people's thoughts are, and you know, if you have any, if you know where I can get more information about body positivity, if you know of other YouTubers who have a focus on body positivity and who you think that I would be interested in watching, I definitely am all about supporting people who are doing things the right way. And it's not about weight, it's about being healthy. There are so many people that are overweight that are really healthy, and so many people that are of a completely average body size and or below average, because now the average really is considered overweight, but who are what are considered traditionally aesthetically pleasing, whose health is awful, who are not taking care of themselves and just happen to have a metabolism that, while not taking care of themselves, allows them to stay at a smaller size. So health is really my whole point here. It was a whole lot of ranting when really all I needed to say was I really hope that people focus on their health and not just their weight. Alright, so thanks for being here. If you want to subscribe, there will be a new video. I'm aiming for every day. I did miss one day because of migraines, so for health issues, it's possible that I would miss a day here and there. But ultimately, the goal is at minimum 6 days a week. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe down below. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine too. And I thank you for hanging out. Bye.